Hey everyone, what's going on? SW Gaming here, and honestly, today is a very bittersweet moment for me because this is the last episode of the Skywalker Saga for this level speculation series. I've decided that the best way to end this series would be with one final complete recap video that quickly covers all three trilogies. Like previous videos that I covered on each trilogy, this video is going to cover all 9 films from the Skywalker Saga, from The Phantom Menace to the most recent, The Rise of Skywalker. Now, if you haven't missed last week's video that goes a little more in depth with the sequel trilogy and wanted to check that out, there will be a link at the top right of the screen which will take you to that video. If I've learned anything while making this level speculation series, it's probably that I've thoroughly enjoyed thinking about what we could expect from the Skywalker Saga, and honestly making the character images that are presented at the start of each level. Now, previous recap videos have been anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes in length, and in order to condense this video down to a reasonable length, I'm not going to go too in-depth with the level layouts, but rather introduce a quick one-sentence summary or so for the level from each episode in the Skywalker Saga. What's been most interesting about this series though, is that although we've gotten numerous LEGO Star Wars games in the past, this one should offer so many new possibilities for both the Star Wars universe in terms of content, but also will hopefully push the boundaries of what we've come to expect from a LEGO game. TT Games has stated that all of the previous levels have been redesigned when compared to the complete saga, and new episodes will be making their entrance into the world of LEGO, such as episodes 8 and 9. Creating this series has opened my mind to all the potential that this game could have, and hopefully you've enjoyed what I've done with this series over the past several months. If you're new to this channel, I wanted to say welcome and that you've picked the right video to start off with, but if you've seen my videos before or any of my other Skywalker Saga level speculation content, you can go ahead and skip this part of the video. You'll find a timestamp down below in the comments that will take you to episode 1, The Phantom Menace. If this happens to be your first time watching a video in this series, please continue watching. To start off, I wanted to state that all comments and opinions reflected in this video come solely from myself, and if you're interested in staying up to date on these videos, please consider subscribing and sharing this video with others if you happen to enjoy it. What we know so far about the Skywalker Saga is that each episode will contain 5 levels each, which is down 1 from what we received in the complete saga back in 2007. Although we lose 1 level per episode, each level from the Skywalker Saga should be around 10 to 15 minutes in length, more than likely without cutscenes, so we should expect a little over an hour's worth of playable content from each episode, not including side missions. Since we still have no footage or exact knowledge on how the game's travel system will work, it's still kinda up in the air as to how well the overall story layout and travel functions will mesh together. I would still like to see some sort of lobby though, such as the Mos Eisley Cantina or even Dexter's Diner, as an easier way to replay already completed levels. I know it's been previously stated that there won't be a lobby included like in previous games, but even The Force Awakens from 2016 had some sort of home base such as on Dakar, and honestly I'd like to see that continued in this game by possibly utilizing the Jedi Temple. Before we go ahead and begin with episode 1, I wanted to make it clear that this video is pure speculation and does not reflect any thoughts or comments previously expressed by the game's developers, TT Games. These level layouts will more than likely not directly reflect what we will see in the actual game, but I make these videos regarding what we could see once the game is released. Now, with all of that out of the way, let's finish the Skywalker Saga where it began, with episode 1, The Phantom Menace. We begin the Skywalker Saga on the Trade Federation ship until we travel down to the planet of NABOO, hidden on an MTT. Along the way, we meet everyone's favorite character, Jar Jar Binks, and head towards Otu Gunga, better known as Gungan City. Traveling in a Gungan sub, we travel to Theed and then switch over to Queen Amidala and Captain Panaka as we head towards the hangar, fleeing the droid-occupied city. After landing on the sandy, barren planet of Tatooine, we come across a young enslaved boy named Anakin Skywalker, who later wins his freedom through the Mos Espa pod race and leaves with Qui-Gon to be trained as a Jedi. The level ends when they are ambushed by Darth Maul. Split into 2 parts, Jar Jar and Captain Trapals defend their homeland from the droid army, while the others attempt to retake Theed and the Royal Palace from the Separatists. After Anakin defeats the Trade Federation battleship, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan engage in a duel of the fates against Darth Maul, as Obi-Wan reigns victorious at the cost of his Jedi Master. Years later, Anakin and Obi-Wan are appointed to protect Padme Amidala after an assassination attempt has threatened her life. After a speeder chase through the escrow district of Coruscant, Zam Wesell is captured and killed by bounty hunter Jango Fett. Hoping to find the mysterious bounty hunter, Obi-Wan travels to KAMINO, where he discovers the clone army, and after an encounter with Jango, he is tracked to the planet of Geonosis, where he is later captured by former Jedi turned Sith Count Dooku. Traveling back to Tatooine in search of his mother, Anakin taps into the dark side of the Force as he slaughters not only the men, but the women and children too. After discovering Obi-Wan's situation, Anakin and Padme travel to Geonosis, but are caught while in the droid factory. Put on display, Anakin, Padme, and Obi-Wan escape the arena thanks to the newly enforced clone army and Jedi Order. Mace Windu defeats Jango as the Clone Wars officially begins, and Count Dooku flees towards his ship. During the two-part battle against Dooku, Anakin and Obi-Wan are defeated while Yoda appears, but he is unable to defeat Dooku, thus allowing for his escape while he will remain in hiding until Episode 3. Nearing the end of the Clone Wars, Anakin and Obi-Wan navigate their way through the battle over Coruscant, hoping to rescue the Chancellor who has been held captive by Dooku and General Grievous. After Palpatine's rescue, Anakin defeats Dooku while a quick encounter with Grievous ensues. Afterwards, the invisible hand later crash lands onto the surface of Coruscant. Having tracked Grievous to Utapau, Obi-Wan and Commander Cody fight their way through battle until a chase occurs and the cyborg Separatist commander is finally defeated. In an attempt to protect the Wookiees on the planet of Kashyyyk, Yoda has traveled to ensure their survival during a droid invasion, but not all is well as the clones later turn on both the Wookiees and Jedi. During the arrest of Chancellor Palpatine, Anakin decides to save him from Mace Windu as he promises Anakin the power to keep Padme safe. Granted the new name of Darth Vader, Anakin oversees the attack at the Jedi Temple with the 501st as they begin the galaxy-wide elimination of all Jedi. Seeing that there is no reasoning with Anakin, Obi-Wan attempts to stop him from causing any more harm, as the once brothers have now become enemies. Anakin's corrupted mind clouds his judgment, as Obi-Wan dismembers Anakin, leaving him for dead. The prequels come to a close, as Darth Vader emerges and the Age of the Empire has begun. Many years after the fall of the Jedi, the Empire has tracked the rebels after stealing secret plans to the Death Star, as Darth Vader and stormtroopers board the Tantive 4, capturing Princess Leia while C-3PO and R2-D2 escape to the planet of Tatooine below. After purchasing both droids, Luke Skywalker attempts to recover R2-D2, who has fled the Lars homestead in search of the Rebel Alliance. Luke is introduced to an older Obi-Wan as he is given his father's lightsaber. The pair travel to Mos Eisley as they meet Han Solo and Chewbacca in an attempt to deliver the plans to the planet of Alderaan. Discovering that Alderaan no longer exists, the Millennium Falcon is captured by the Death Star and boarded as our heroes disguise themselves as stormtroopers. Obi-Wan seeks to disable the tractor beam as the others make an attempt at rescuing Leia. After the rescue goes astray, our heroes travel throughout the Death Star and eventually make their way back to the Falcon as Luke oversees Vader taking his revenge on Obi-Wan. They flee towards the planet of Yavin 4, where the rebels currently reside. With the Death Star plans in hand, the rebels launch an assault on the Death Star as Luke Skywalker is able to destroy the superweapon thanks to his trust in the Force. The rebels celebrate their temporary victory for the time being until Episode 5 begins. The rebels have set up temporary shelter on the wintry planet of Hoth as Luke is attacked by a Wampa while surveying the area. He is rescued by Han Solo as the Empire launches a full assault on Echo Base and the Battle of Hoth commences. Now overrun by the Empire, Han Solo and the others flee Echo Base while avoiding the Empire and snowtroopers. After some malfunctions with the Falcon, they flee the base as Darth Vader appears just moments too late. Luke watches his friends flee as he enters his X-Wing, headed towards Dagobah. Seeking to begin his Jedi training, Luke encounters one of the few remaining Jedi Masters, Yoda, who reluctantly agrees to train Luke in the ways of the Force. After encountering a shadow of Darth Vader, Luke feels his friends in trouble and decides to abandon his training for the time being. With nowhere left to run and tracked by the Empire, the Falcon lands on Cloud City where Lando Calrissian provides temporary shelter. They are betrayed as Han is frozen in carbonite by orders from Vader, and he is given to bounty hunter Boba Fett. After having a change of heart, Lando helps the others escape, but are too late to rescue Han. While the others flee Cloud City, Luke lands and later approaches Vader. After several lightsaber encounters, Luke's hand is severed as he learns the truth that Vader is his real father and that he was once the Jedi Anakin Skywalker. Luke decides to risk his life instead of joining his father, and is later saved by Leia and the others thanks to their unknown Force connection at the time. After devising a plan to rescue Han Solo from the crime lord Jabba the Hutt, Leia and Chewbacca remove Han from his carbonite slumber, but are captured during the process. Luke attempts to reason with Jabba, but is thrown into the Rancor pit and survives. Him and the others are sentenced to the death via the Sarlacc pit. Luke retrieves his lightsaber thanks to R2, and barely escapes death in addition with help from Lando, disguised as a skiff guard. Boba Fett is defeated as Leia strangles Jabba, thus defeating the crime lord, and our heroes escape as the sail barge goes down in flames. Learning of a second Death Star's construction, the rebels travel to Endor where they attempt to stop the Empire once more. Luke and Leia embark on a speeder chase until they part ways after meeting the native Ewoks, and the Battle of Endor commences. Once again, the rebels launch an assault to destroy the Death Star as Lando Calrissian and Nien Nunb make their way into the Death Star's interiors and later destroy the core. Seeking to reason with his father, Luke turns himself over and is brought to the Emperor. Renouncing the dark side, Vader feels a call to action and defeats the Emperor, thus bringing balance back to the Force, although Palpatine unknowingly survives, thus diminishing Anakin's sacrifice. The rebels celebrate their victory on Endor as everything goes downhill from there. Many years after the Battle of Endor, Luke Skywalker has vanished as the newly established First Order seeks to claim the map to him. Resistance member Poe Dameron sends his droid BB-8 with the map out towards the distance as Poe is captured by Kylo Ren. Realizing his wrongdoings, Stormtrooper FN-2187, or Finn, rescues Poe until their TIE fighter is shot down and crashes onto the surface of JAKKU. On JAKKU, a lonely scavenger named Rey stumbles upon BB-8 and rescues him. The next day, the pair heads to Nima Outpost where they encounter Finn and are attacked by both the First Order and thugs hired by Unkar Plutt. They escape in an abandoned Millennium Falcon and are later boarded by Han Solo and Chewbacca. Hoping to reconnect with the Resistance, the group travels to Maz Kanata's castle on TAKODANA, where Rey is captured by Kylo Ren and the First Order attacks the castle. The Resistance arrives and it is revealed that Poe survived while Han and Leia reconnect once more. Leaving the Resistance on Dakar, Han, Finn, and Chewbacca infiltrate Starkiller Base as Rey escapes captivity. Han attempts to reason with his son Kylo and is ultimately killed. As the Resistance attacks Starkiller Base, the others flee while the base begins to crumble from within. Tracking Rey and Finn to the wintry woods, Kylo Ren seeks to claim the Skywalker lightsaber for his own, but instead it calls to Rey. The pair face one another as the heavily wounded Kylo attempts to keep pace. They are later separated as the ground breaks between them. The Falcon escapes the destruction of Starkiller Base, as Rey later travels to Act 2 hoping to find Luke Skywalker. The Resistance are forced to evacuate Dakar as the First Order launches a counterattack. Their forces running low, the Resistance is able to defeat a First Order dreadnought at a significant cost until they are later tracked through hyperspace and Kylo Ren emerges. Luke Skywalker has renounced the Jedi ways and shut himself off from the Force. He agrees to train Rey but is later attacked after discovering her connection with Kylo, who destroyed his Jedi temple long ago. Believing that Kylo can be redeemed, Rey flees Act 2, leaving Luke behind. In an effort to help save the Resistance, Finn, BB-8, and Rose travel to CANTO BIGHT in search of a codebreaker. They are thrown into jail and meet DJ, who helps them aid their escape, although not everything is as it seems. Sneaking aboard the Supremacy, Finn, Rose, and DJ go undercover, but are caught as DJ later betrays them. Rey and Kylo encounter Snoke, as Kylo secretly kills him, and a fight against the Praetorian Guards brings the two together. In another attempt to claim the Skywalker lightsaber, it is torn into two, blinding the room in a bright white. Admiral Holdo suicide bombs the Supremacy, as Finn defeats Captain Phasma and flees towards the salt planet of Crate. Hoping to buy more time in an effort to escape, the Resistance sets up for battle on Crate as the First Order easily overpowers them. A force projection of Luke lures Kylo Ren out into the open, providing enough time for the Resistance to escape aboard the Falcon. Back on Act 2, Luke becomes one with the Force as his body fades away. After discovering a wayfinder on the remains of Vader's castle, Kylo travels to Exegol where he encounters a clone of Emperor Palpatine. Finn, Poe, and Chewbacca recover valuable information against the First Order thanks to a spy, as Rey furthers her Jedi training on Agent Kloss. The group travels to Pasaana in hopes of finding another wayfinder, and are secretly aided by an older Lando Calrissian until discovered by the First Order. After a quick speeder chase, the group recovers a Sith dagger as Rey encounters Kylo once more, later believing to kill Chewbacca after tapping into the dark side of the Force. Hoping to have the Sith text translated, the group travels to Kijimi where an old friend of Poe, Zori Bliss, helps them to translate the text thanks to C-3PO. Chewbacca is rescued aboard the Star Destroyer looming over the city as General Hux is revealed to be the secret spy, and Rey discovers that she is the granddaughter of Palpatine. After tracking the remains to the Death Star 2 on a moon of Endor, Rey encounters a dark side version of herself and reclaims another Wayfinder from the remains of Palpatine's throne room until it is destroyed by Kylo Ren. The two battle once more until Rey defeats Kylo and temporarily exiles herself, while Han Solo appears to Kylo, resulting in him finally renouncing the dark side. Rey then leads the Resistance to Exegol as the final battle commences against the Sith fleet secretly created by Palpatine's followers. Ben defeats the Knights of Ren as him and Rey work alongside each other to defeat Palpatine. With the help of former Jedi, Rey defeats Palpatine, obliterating the Sith fleet while Ben becomes one with the Force, using his remaining energy to heal Rey. The Resistance travels back to Agent Kloss where they celebrate their victory, seemingly forgetting that the First Order still exists elsewhere, and the Skywalker Saga ends as Rey travels back to Tatooine, where the story began. There you have it, everyone, a fairly quick recap video on the entire Skywalker Saga across all three trilogies, thus ending this level of speculation series, and I'm out of breath. Now, hopefully this video didn't run too long as there's so much material to cover, but I try to get straight to the point and hopefully the character images really help to tell the story of each level. If you happen to enjoy this recap, please consider leaving the video a big thumbs up or by letting me know down below in the comments. I try my best to look at all the comments and leave some responses on each video. Overall, I think TT Games has more than enough to work with, and overall a lot in store for what this game should offer. We still don't know a lot about the game in general, but over time we should learn more and more as time passes until the game is officially released, at which point I will be doing a complete 100% walkthrough of the game. There's been some really divisive moments throughout numerous episodes, and I firmly believe that TT Games will provide us with a game that not only lives up to the LEGO and Star Wars nostalgia, but that actually surpasses it. I truly believe that this will be the LEGO game that will be beloved by many for years to come. It's going to be really interesting to look back on this video once the game is released to see how well I did and what actually made it into the final game with this level speculation series. Even though this is the last episode in the Skywalker Saga, I still plan to continue this level speculation series for a couple more weeks, but instead of looking at the main films, I'm going to be speculating some potential DLC content, such as Solo and Rogue One, and what levels may be included with those expansion packs if they were to be released later on. I may take a week or two break from this series, but those videos will be releasing very soon. Either way, if I happen to miss anything that you believe should have been included in a specific level, please let me know. Like I've said, creating these videos takes a lot of time and effort, but I really enjoy thinking about what we could expect to see from the Skywalker Saga upon release. If you're not currently subscribed and would like to stay up to date on the remaining episodes in this series, or any of my other Skywalker Saga videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Once again, those videos release on both Wednesdays and Saturdays at the moment, and as always, thanks for watching and being on this journey with me, and I'll catch you in the next video.